World Cup 2014 saw Germany lift their fourth world title, beating Argentina in the final. I don't think anybody could forget that extra time winner by Mario Götze. But there were many extraordinary things that happened in that tournament, like how Germany beat the hosts Brazil 7-1. I don't think many Brazilians could forget that either. But many people forget about Chile's run in the tournament. Finishing second in their group above their previous World Cup winners Spain, they would draw Brazil in the round of 16 where they ultimately lost in a penalty shootout. This certainly wasn't a terrible result for the Chileans. The South American country would head into Copa America 2015 as the host nation. Never winning the competition before, they weren't really favorites heading into the tournament, but by no means were they really a bad team. They had stars like Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal, and also Barcelona's starting keeper Claudio Bravo. So when they finished first in their group, no one really batted an eye. Facing off against Uruguay, who were the reigning champions at the time, they would go on and win 1-0, putting them through to the semis, where they would face Peru, a tricky side for sure, but Vargas would put two past the side to give Chile the edge in a 2-1 victory, surprisingly making it to the final. I mean, this wasn't a first for them, as Chile were also runners-up in 1955 and 1956, but they had never won a whole thing. And no one expected them to, because they were facing off against World Cup finalists Argentina, who had a prime Messi. Many thought of this as a cakewalk for Argentina, as they had just destroyed Paraguay in the semis 6-1. But many didn't expect Chile to put up such a fight against Argentina. Both sides had battled for a goal, but the first 90 minutes would finish 0-0, and extra time would bring the same action, with both sides failing to convert their chances, and once again no goals would be scored, bringing the match into penalties. And this is where Chile dominated. As Higuain and Banega missed their penalties, Sanchez would hit a Panenka to give Chile its first ever Copa America win. It must have been a great feeling to win in your home country, and I'm sure that played a part in their victory. But the Copa America champions didn't have much time to enjoy their victory, as just a year later they had to defend their title, as another Copa America would be held in the following year. The reason they had held the tournament just a year after the last one was because this tournament marked the 100th anniversary of the Continental Tournament. And it would be more competitive than the last one, as this time the number of teams increased from 12 to 16. It would be known as the Copa America Centenario. And Chile would get drawn in a group with favorites Argentina, losing their first group match against the Blue and Whites, but they were still luckily able to make it out of the group, placing second, just 3 points ahead of Panama. Drawing against Mexico in the quarters, it would be a demolition, with Vargas once again showing up in the tournament, scoring 4 goals against the Mexicans. And the semis were no different either. Facing a Colombia led by James Rodriguez, the Chileans would score 2 early goals and were able to hold off the Colombians to head into the final. And their opponent in the final? Argentina. The rematch would once again see Chile as underdogs, and this would be even more intense than the last one, as both sides would find themselves a man down before the second half due to 2 red cards that were given. And although Argentina shot 12 more times than Chile, both sides were unable to score in the first 90 minutes and extra time, bringing the rematch to penalties once again. With Messi and Vidal both missing the first penalty in the shootout, the Chileans showed their expertise again. Scoring their next 4 straight, they would go on to win back-to-back Copa Americas, making them the undisputed kings of South America for the time being. Many Chileans were excited for the future of the team. With Sanchez only getting better and Vidal who was just class for the side, many people had put them on as a sleeper pick for the World Cup. And with the 2018 qualifications coming up, the Chileans were confident that they would be making their 10th World Cup appearance. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out well for them. Although they were ranked 9th at the world at the time, winning their first 2 matches against Brazil and Peru, they would drop points against Colombia. Fast forwarding all the way to the last match day, Chile needed a draw to qualify. But Brazil would be their last opponents and they would get revenge on the side, beating them 3-0. This would put Peru in 5th place, ahead on goal difference, not letting them head into the Intercontinental playoffs. What hurt even more for Chile was that 4th place Colombia was just 1 point ahead, and 3rd place Argentina was just 2 points ahead, meaning that one more win would have let the back-to-back Copa America winners qualify for the tournament. And since then, Chile has been unable to qualify for a World Cup, placing 7th in the 2022 qualifiers, and not having the best start for the 2026 edition of the world's biggest tournament, currently placed 8th. However, luckily for them, the new World Cup format has expanded from 32 teams to 48. So the CONMEBOL qualifiers have the top 6 going through and 7th place in the Intercontinental playoff. This makes qualifying for the nation so much easier, as there are only 10 teams in the group. In 2018, it was unlucky for them to not qualify, but 2022 made more sense as their star players got older and quite frankly, there hasn't been any new talent to take their place. It's clear that Chile's golden generation is now over. But what do you think? Is this the best team to not make it to a World Cup? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more just like this one.